The following was recorded in front of a live studio audience at the Studio 21 Podcast Café. This is the United Podcast Network.
Welcome to the Stock Market Authority Podcast. I'm Bakes, Kevin Baker. I'm going to teach you how to make money in up and down markets. Very few podcasters or coaches cover this. I'll show you how to lock in profits and minimize losses to make you a better investor. So once a week, you're going to know what's going on in the world and the stock market. Welcome to the Stock Market Authority Podcast. Welcome. I'm Bakes, Kevin Baker, Stock Market Authority. Welcome to Back to Bakesics. My mom calls me Kevin. Everybody on the planet calls me Bakes. And this is Uranium 101. And uranium is in a big mega trend, and I want you to catch it and come along with me. And so we're going to have a different format than other weeks. I'm going to show you everything I've been doing over the last 3 years, how I discovered uranium, and which is, out beyond the pale of most money managers and investors, and why I'm so bullish right now. This is the chart of the uranium junior miners put out by Sprott. URNJ is the symbol, and I just point this to everyone. This is the prettiest chart out there. I go through thousands of them, and this is just bullish. I can't stress it enough. This is what I want to see. Sprott was smart enough to put this out when uranium wasn't doing too much. It had a spike at the start and then drifted lower. And what we've done now is churned through all that. I have this arrow here, my buy back in June at 18 or so. Here we are at 20 plus. We're already making good money. And just this past couple of days, new highs, new closing highs, not all-time highs, and we're going to hit that at 23.32. The volume is picking up. It is just a great chart, and chances are you haven't paid attention to this because it is so it's relatively new. Uranium is an oddball category, but it is going to be a profitable category. I want to take you along my journey. So I started this in the middle of COVID, July 25th, 2020, and there's a link in the show notes to all these, but I want to go back and this is for my re-education and edification as well. This is the top 10 reasons I invested in URNM, the predecessor to URNJ, which we also own, and owns the bigger uranium miners, the Camecos of the world. And I said on that video, I'm not going to go through everything here, but most of these are under 3 minutes. This reminds me of oil and gas in the past, titanium, which I invested in successfully in the 90s, potash, the fertilizer companies in the aughts. It's got the same kind of setup and feel to me. But the main reason I did it was the chart. And this is why I go charts first and then fundamental research second. The chart of URNM was clearly up on 10 times normal volume. It broke through 30. It was trading 4,000 shares a day back then. So I knew that the institutions weren't there yet, and it was right after the launch. So we were very go back. That was my thesis then, and frankly, all those reasons are even more have strengthened over the course of the years. My next one is June 27th, 2021, 2 years ago, and I said, this is green in both senses. URNM I talked about there. This is 10 more reasons to invest. And this was in response to my good friend Gus Christensen, who runs Share Scoops, that has a people, planet, and profit bent for those who want to have a positive environmental impact with their investments. And I stressed upon them that uranium is about as it's vital to the environment. Frankly, there's no other way to say it. If you want to hit these decarbonization goals, then you have to have uranium. It is clean, it is efficient, it's base load. The safety record is very, very good, despite the movies that have been made. The facts are entirely different. And if you want to get off fossil fuels, you got to have nuclear energy, and that means you need to feed it uranium. Social sentiment had changed. Even the most strident left-wing politicians were realizing this had to happen. The supply was very small and shrinking. I know I keep pounding this, but it just after Fukushima in 11, all the things that you thought were going to happen happened. Mines closed, nuclear plants were shuttered, or at least shut down, and the demand for uranium evaporated, and of course the incentive to produce uranium evaporated. And so we've been working off these stockpiles for all this time, and we're finally getting ready to rock and roll. Supply needs to increase. It's just that simple. We're in a supply deficit, and so we need more uranium, and it's just a matter of time. And so we basically, through these two ETFs, we own everything from the small to the largest of uranium miners that are going to increase production and, more importantly, I think, benefit from a rising price that is coming. EV sales are obviously going north. That means you need to have more power to the grid, more reliable power to the grid, and that is inevitable, I think. I think it's going to happen later than people think, but that's why I'm so bullish on this for a long-term investment, because I've seen this movie, and it just these commodity cycles last a long time. J.C. Peretz on his last podcast talked about 9 to 14 years. And so this is year 3, which is kind of way I say inning 3. And I want you here for this. China is building nuclear plants like crazy. India to a lesser extent, but it's still I caution people to not get tied into the U.S. Not in my backyard focus that many people have. The Chinese don't care about your backyard. They're going to put up nuclear plants. 20 of them are getting built right now as we speak. India's doing the same thing, and a lot of other countries. Even Sweden restarted a nuclear plant. It's time. It's just time, and the charts are telling us that this deficit of working down the uranium stockpiles is coming to an end. The utilities need this stuff, and they're going to start having to bid the price up whether they like it or not. It's a tiny part of the operating budget of a nuclear plant. I've seen numbers like 4%. And so if it goes to 7 or 8, it's not going to kill anybody. And I haven't seen a setup like this in my career, frankly, that looks so exciting to me. Next, please go to the links in the show notes. This is from July 8th, 2021. I'm probably doing this because people call me a tourist. And, okay, I'm more of an expat. I've been here for 3 years. So here we go. Click on my YouTube video there. The 10th Japanese nuclear plant restarting, 16 more coming. That's 2 years ago. So it took 11 years for them to say, Fukushima's in the distant past. We saw what happened. The safety records we feel, adequate now. And even they said, we need nuclear power and we're going to restart. And you're going to see, I think, eventually the Germanys and other countries like that come around to that. And that's why I'm bullish on URNM. I was then and I am now. September 14th of 2021, I said uranium is going to go 5 to 8 times from here is reasonable. And that's the metal itself, and the stocks like URNM, the stocks that they own, are going to rise more. And I still believe that. You have a commodity that has gone from 140 down to 70, down to 18 during COVID, and it just broke above 60. So I think we take out the 70 level next, and then you got very, very little resistance up to retesting that 140 level. So if we go up, obviously the 5 times number was a while ago. So let's say we're going up 2.5 or so from here. We're still going to make a tremendous amount of money. And I look for the negatives. The negative, obviously, is a nuclear accident. God forbid. That's awful. Other than that, I don't see what derails this. I really don't. And I'm looking for that because I don't want to be Pollyanna, and I don't want to be blindsided. September 21st of 2021, I interviewed Tim Rotolo, one of the most popular and most viewed videos and interviews we've ever done. He is the CEO of North Shore Global Uranium Mining, URNM. He then sold it to Sprott. And my dad came up with this and said, why is uranium rising and why is it now? And Tim and I talked about that over around 50 minutes. And I recommend that because it's a great fleshing out of these issues that we've talked about. I'm not going to go through them all here. It's all there for you to watch or rewatch. But I just want you to know that I've gone out to the sources and done a lot of research beyond the charts to get to my bullish stance on uranium. And lastly, our most recent one. We've got 1,300 plus views. This is from August 22nd, about a month ago. The Uranium Awakening Nuclear Renaissance. I did sell my uranium in 2022. Basically, nothing happened that year with uranium. We made very good money shorting Cathie Wood and the SPACs, and now we've reversed that, and so we're back in uranium full force. So I hope this is helpful. I hope this prior work is helpful. I welcome your thoughts, questions, comments, criticisms, witticisms. Please email me at bakes@stockmarketauthority.com, and please go to my website and sign up Bakes at stockmarketauthority.com and sign up for my free newsletter. That's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this Back to Bakesics, Uranium 101. I want to hear from you. And I always end these things with some much-needed levity. And this is a good one. This is very clean, Mom and Dad. This is Brian Regan on politics. And it's not really about politics. It mocks them all. So it is not red or blue. And have fun. I will see you next week. And keep smiling. God bless. Bye-bye.
The views and opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, or callers of this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the Studio 21 Podcast Café, the United Podcast Network, its partners, or affiliates.